Hi, how you doing? I'm 48 years old, and 2013 was the worst year of my life. I suffered extreme depression stemming from anxiety. I couldn't work for the first time in 20 years. I sat around mostly worrying, didn't really want to do anything. Early hours of the morning, I would wake up my wife and tell her that I figured out that I really wasn't going to get any better. Nothing could really help me, and it wasn't worth going on. She would listen to me very patiently, tell me that what I said wasn't making any sense, that it wasn't going to get better, and that I needed to continue. Happy to say about 5 months ago, things turned around very dramatically for me. I started doing much better, in fact, and been doing really, really good. Good enough that I can come up here and tell you the story. I started law school in fall of 1990 at the University of Virginia, beautiful in Charlottesville, Virginia, beautiful part of the country. The class was divided into sections of about 30 people each, and I was in Section L. Section L met for the first time in a small classroom with stadium-style seating. I was up in the top left, the top row on the left, and my eye was drawn to a young woman in the middle rows. She had long, dark, curly hair. She had bright eyes, very warm smile, and she seemed very excited to be there. I learned that her name was Karen Gus, and that she's from Staten Island, New York. Karen and I became friends. I became friends with a number of people in Section L, including a guy named Scott. Scott and I formed a study group pretty quickly, and Scott suggested that we invite Karen into the group. And I said, I really, really like Karen, and so that's why I don't want her in the group. Because it really distracted me. And so he told Karen that my decision, and she called me up really angry and told me, asked me why I wouldn't let her in the group, and I said, I really, really like you, that's why I don't want you in the group, and that didn't seem to satisfy her, and so I relented, and we remained friends. On Halloween day of 1990, it was a Saturday, I woke up late after a night of drinking, and I knew Karen had also woken up, was out late drinking too, and probably wasn't going on a trip with the rest of Section L to the Blue Ridge Mountains for a hike. So I called up Karen and I said, why don't we go see some Bugs Bunny cartoons? They're playing downtown Charlottesville at a film festival. She said, okay. So we went and saw some Bugs Bunny cartoons, and they were pretty good. At the time, we then went to have some lunch. She told me about her parents' recent divorce, and I told her about my parents' divorce when I was little. And we decided to go for a hike of our own. So we went to drove to the Blue Ridge Mountains and found a trail to hike on. We went for about 2 miles and talked a lot. It was mostly me talking. I was pretty nervous. And suddenly we came upon a waterfall. And I thought about pulling Karen towards me and kissing her, but I didn't. I froze, and the moment passed. And we went back to Charlottesville. We met a friend of hers. They asked me if I was going to go to a party at a place called Browns Mountain. Browns Mountain is next to the mountain where Thomas Jefferson built his famous house Monticello. And there was a house on top of Browns Mountain where law students lived. And I said I wasn't going to go to the party. I was going to stay home. I would take the night off from partying. And so I went out and had some dinner. Came back, rented a couple movies. I rented Working Girl, which is a movie about a girl from Staten Island who takes over a place of Sigourney Weaver, who's a financial professional, and she makes this big deal. She's the secretary she stands in for, and winds up stealing Harrison Ford away from Sigourney Weaver, and that didn't help me get my mind on Karen Gus. And then I watched Field of Dreams, which is sort of a baseball movie. And I knew that Karen Gus really, really liked baseball. And it's really a movie about following your intuition to do something that you to connect with something that you're really missing in life. And that didn't help me get my mind off Camden-Dust. So I decided I'd drive up to Browns Mountain and tell her how I felt. So I got in the car, drove to Browns Mountain about 20 minutes away, went out to Switchbacks at the mountain, went to the party, found her. I said, I really need to talk to you. Can we go outside? And she said, sure. We went outside. And under the stars, I said, if I tried to kiss you when we were by the waterfall, what would you have said? And she said, why don't you try and find out now? And we kissed. That was 24 years ago. Karen and I have been through a lot together. The death of my mother, the death of my brother. We have 2 kids. But a lot of periods when there was a lot of strain in our marriage, a lot of difficulty, and nothing worse than the year that I went through last year. But I'm really, really happy to tell you how glad I am that when I drove up to Browns Mountain that day, it was just kiss someone who would stand by me through thick and thin. Thank you.